For my project, I want to talk about the unseen heroes, the people who have strength in silence. Heroes, they come in all shapes and sizes. When we think of heroes, we often imagine like big heroic acts, like saving people's lives, risking everything in one act. But today, I want to talk about a different kind of heroism. I want to talk about the kind that is like happens on the quiet, happens every day, and can often come alone. If you look at this chair, the first thing you imagine is a person who's sick. But the first thought that comes to mind is, oh, their body's health must be bad. But no, imagine sitting in this chair knowing you're about to go through the worst and most painful, exhausting, and uncertain thing in your life. And no one's beside you, no support, no distraction, just you and the reality of what you're facing. That can take a toll on people's health. If you ask yourself, what is heroism? Traditionally, we define it as courage, sacrifice, and action. We often associate these moments with like big visible moments. What we don't always recognize is that these same qualities can exist in everyday situations, especially in moments of suffering, from death to illnesses to whatever a person can go through every day that can be hard on their mental health. I want to redefine heroism. To me, it's not always involved in recognition or applause. It's simply just pushing forward when everything is telling you to give up, when your body's telling you to stop. It is showing up again and again, even when no one's watching. The reality of facing cancer alone, and this is what my project is surrounded. Cancer is just not a physical battle, it's a mental and emotional battle too. There's the fear of the unknown, the toll of the treatment, the weight of the uncertainty. And when someone faces that alone, that challenge not just becomes surviving, but also becomes enduring isolation at the same time. That can be as hard as cancer is. And I have a personal connection toward this. This is not something I've just researched. It's something that I've seen. Someone close to me went through aggressive cancer. They attended chemo sessions alone because no one was there for them, and never complained once. That kind of strength isn't loud, but it's powerful. And there's multiple reasons why people just never show up. There's the bystander effect for one. It's where people say the more people around, the less action taken. Is like basically saying just because I'm not there, I'm sure there's 100 people that are. But if everyone thinks like that, no one's gonna ever show up. This is known as a bystander effect. The idea of when people are present, individual feels like less personal to help. In situations like illnesses, this can translate into emotional distance even from people who genuinely care. Just because you care and don't want to show up because you're scared, that is still the bystander effect. And there's also invisible barriers where basically people avoid difficult situations because they don't know what to say or they're afraid of making things worse. But just because you're trying to avoid discomfort, that might make you feel better, but it doesn't help the people that are struggling. And this is what makes people who battle cancer alone heroes. They face cancer alone, and basically, that is overlooked. Their strength is not just a one-time thing, it's consistent. Their courage isn't like about one decision, it's about choosing to keep going every single day of their life. To me, I think everyone should become a hero in waiting, which means if you recognize a moment where you can act, do it. Don't choose to ignore it because it doesn't require perfection. It just requires someone who is aware and willing to step in. If you know someone that's struggling, call. One hug can mean a lot to a person. And this is why I think just because you're a hero doesn't mean you have to, just because you're a person, doesn't mean you can't be a hero. People who are heroes usually face things alone, in silence, and those are the best kind of heroes. And this is my presentation.